Good morning, everyone. Just to remind you, I'm Neil Wilkins. I lead the Migrant Workers Programme at the Institute for Human Rights and Business. Welcome to day 2 of the Global Forum for Responsible Recruitment. We got off to a great start yesterday. We were ever so pleased with the day. It was fantastic. We had some really great sessions, and I'm sure that today will be just as illuminating. Don't forget that we're joined by an online audience all the way around the world, and there's over around 1,300 people have registered to be watching some or part of different sessions, and all of the sessions yesterday were very well attended, both by an in-person audience here in Bangkok, but also by an online audience all the way around the world as well. But for that reason, it is very important that we start and finish all sessions on time. So after your breaks and things like that, when we ask you to come back in and take your places, please just try and follow that instruction so that we can start and finish everything on the appropriate time. Don't forget that if you wish to ask a question, and we welcome questions for nearly all the sessions, they do need to be submitted online via the Zoom platform, and in the room you'll see little QR codes around the place, and this gives persons in the room and online participants an equal chance to put their questions in, and then we are monitoring all the questions that come in, and they get asked on your behalf by an IHRB person from the front. We had a lot of sessions that really focused on data and technology yesterday, reflecting some of IHRB's work around the Global Data Sharing Partnership. Today we're perhaps going to start with something that's maybe a little closer to migrant workers themselves. You met him yesterday, but Mahendra Pandey is a migrant worker originally from Nepal. After time employed in the Gulf, he now works for Humanity United in the United States. And Mahendra is going to explain about a new organisation that has been established to represent migrant workers at international fora such as this one. We're then going to hear from a migrant worker, Anna Bunda, who she's a worker who's based currently in Kuwait, where as well as doing a full-time job, she also runs a support service for migrant workers, and particularly for migrant women workers there. And Anne is going to give her reflections on the first day of the forum and what she hopes to hear today. So I ask if Mahendra can come up first.
You asked me the questions, right?
Then I answer.
Wait a minute. Home or home?
All right. What gives me hope is Tata Obase Arokire.
Community, people, and support.
Is having a safe space.
Kautal Hore. Pag-asa.
The leadership of GMWN.
To see people smiling.
Asan sɛ mewɔ abusua kɛseɛ mu.
Honda gamana kena BMW nek.
Community.
Collaboration.
Echimpe subi kwe kumanya nti encha nja kuba bulungi.
Sauti ya wanyonge.
my family, my friend, and to help all immigrants.
የኔ ተስፋ የሰራተኞችን ህይወት ማሸነፍ ነው።
Now, when I come for a convening like this one, I meet up like-minded people, the way that they fight for the rights and the freedom and dignity of fellow migrant workers like me. You know, nothing that give me joy.
Feeling of sense of belonging with community.
My community.
Wondu gobe jam.
People.
Being heard, being seen.
nneɛma a ɛyɛ me nuanom ɛreka no ɛma m'ani gye.
Manghunga dewa ligene gatta.
Family. Unity.
Okulaba abantu abaneetolodde nga basanyufu.
Wakati ninapoona wafanyikazi wakijiongea wenyewe.
To see my result of my work.
የኔ ደስታ የሌሎችን ህይወት ማሸነፍ ነው።
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mahendra Pandey, and why I played this video, even though I'm speaking here, myself and also Anne will speak after me, and also Beam will speak end of the day today, and we are, many of us, and we are one of them. So we are not just standing here alone, but we are representing 18,000 in our Global Migrant Worker Network, but within the Gulf and Middle East, there are 37 million migrant workers. They work, and even though they are from different countries, and they make Middle East and Gulf their home and living there for long times. And I also experience similar kind of experience that many migrant workers they face, they have experience. As I mentioned yesterday, I was a migrant worker, and I went to Saudi Arabia in 2006. And one of the reasons I wanted to go Saudi because my dad was living there and working there for 14 years. And when I was in the 5th grade and 10 years old, my dad went there, and I wanted to find him and also contact him at the same time. And I wanted to support my family. And I never thought, and I never believed that I would stand today in Bangkok in front of all the powerful and business leaders speaking about my story and also our collective approach. But I'm very grateful for Institute of Human Rights and who gave us platform in 2018 and first to share our story. And at that time, the Sarmik Sanjal was very small. Now Sarmik Sanjal has many members and across the Gulf and Middle East. And in 2019, we also brought other 6 migrant workers. And today, and we have not only from migrant workers from Nepal, from different countries, and then the hope and inspirations we got from international forum like this, and it was very meaningful for us, and that's why I would like to acknowledge and thank you IHRB for providing this platform. It's not only about we coming and speak and having access. It's also about motivations, and also we see the hope, and there is a hope about ourselves and hope about collaborations. In early 2020, I envisioned the creation of the Global Migrant Worker Network, designed to build collective power of migrant workers. Today, the network includes over 18,000 migrant workers from all over the world, with 71 member organizations from 43 different countries. Currently, I'm setting up the foundations, the Global Migrant Worker Network, in partnership, in collaboration with other great leaders like Anne and others in the room, by providing them with the regular coaching and mentoring, a lot of which I learned from the Global Responsible Recruitment. And as I mentioned already, we are very grateful. I'm not just saying that because I have to say it, and I truly feel that that was genuine, and also and we like to ask other business leaders and other event organizers to trust and respect similar way that this forum has respected us. And the story of global migrant worker ties to my personal story and experience. Raised in a rural village in Nepal, I experienced firsthand the challenges of limited opportunity, but I have also experienced the power of dreaming big. The Global Migrant Worker Network and Sarmik Sanjal and me working with the Humana United and partnering with the data partnership with the WAVE and working with all the inspirational leaders and people around the room is also part of the power of dreaming big. As a former migrant workers, I know firsthand the importance of having leaders who truly understand and represent our lived experience. My journey began in Saudi Arabia, where I went to source my father, who was also migrant workers, but I ended up enduring exploitative working conditions. However, I was not sure what to do, realizing that there is a need to have reform leaders in this area. I have been involved in organizing advocacy and founding the survival-led organizations. It's been over 15 years since I have been championing migrant rights, survival leadership, and system change. It is a beautiful, GMWN is a beautiful product of what I feel is necessary for migrant workers in today's time. So GMWN is a grassroots survival-led organization network dedicated to uniting migrant workers, providing them with the access to support system, leadership development, mentorship, capacity building, and platform to amplify their voices. To realize a worker and survivor-led feminist future where migrant workers from the majority of the world are holistically supported to represent themselves, leading the global reform and labor and migration system. To unify migrant workers and survivor leaders and allies to reshape migrations policies, elevate lived experience, and build a worker-led movement for fair, dignified, and just labor conditions across the border. Last year in July 2024, GMW Global Migrant Worker Network elected 19 members for their Global Leadership Council, and two members of the Leadership Global Councils, Anne and Beam, are represented here. Organization's GMWN effort goes beyond advocacy, as it also offers worker trauma healing, leadership, and sense of belonging through community. You can see in the video that we not only talk about movement building, campaign, or organizing, we also talk about how we can find joy, how we can find hope. Those are also important aspect of our life. GMWN is a grassroots worker-led and survivor-led network that fills the gap in the movement building and the lived experience leadership. Reform are not about representation, so including migrant workers' voice in Speak Like, Global Forum, and Responsible Recruitment is not also about representations. It is about shaping solutions for those directly impacted. It was incredible to hear the conversation yesterday, especially the collective recognition that business as usual has not worked, and that we want to build a better future using data. We heard about promising efforts like the Global Data Partnership Against Forced Labor and the potential of federated data infrastructure, cross-sectors collaborations, and audit data integrations. But we also heard what's missing: worker voice, ownership, and legitimacy in the data we rely on. I found that it is generally recognized that migrant worker inclusion in data collection and the decision making is low. If we are serious about system change, whether in government, market, or civil society, we must move beyond compliance to trust, representation, leadership, and co-creation from migrant worker side. How we can center lived experience in both policy and metrics. This will be specifically relevant in conversations on worker-centric training and the role of worker-centric tools like Responsible Recruitment Register. How we move from good faith to actionable change. the sessions on elementary recruitment fee and the limits on remedy will be critical for this. And how we ensure ethical recruitment is not only about compliance framework, but about restoring and protecting the dignity, rights, and future of workers across the borders. I am particularly looking forward to hearing insight on women migrant workers and the challenges faced in crisis contexts like Myanmar and Thailand. And as we describe whenever we met in the Global Migrant Worker Network, and we take it, this kind of initiative is part of freedom, and freedom is a continued struggle things. Generation to generation has to win. Even the one time freedom is won, and next generation has to win. And we feel like this is the beginning of our journey, and the Global Migrant Worker Network and migrant worker like myself, and I would like to continue the part of that journey. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, good morning, everyone. The leaders that you saw there in the videos that Mahendra showed a while ago, they are leaders, they are migrant workers. Some of them are survivors. Some of them are migrant workers still in the country of destination. But we are, as one, thinking of how to make our life more dignified and more respectful. Respected by employers, respected by companies, respected by the countries where we are working with. Yesterday, Mahendra mentioned regarding the wisdom that migrant workers has. Truly, migrant workers, we know our problem long time ago. And we know the solution long time ago. But the problem is no one is listening. No one is coming to us to listen to us. What's the solution that you want? What's the solution available? And what is the more practical solution instead of giving us with a lot of scientific, words that we migrant workers doesn't understand. The solution is very practical. The solution is for us to work together. To work together, listen to us. This is our problem. Treat us with dignity. Me as a GMW and leader, as I mentioned, we are from the survivors and the migrant workers led. We have the data. We have the data. Yesterday we talked about data many times, but we don't want to be just a source of data. We want to be part of the system and part of the process in order for us to have long-term solutions to the problem that we are talking about, the changes that we are talking about for a long time ago. We talk about humanized workers. We have the migration journey. We know our problem from the very start. The moment we apply as a domestic worker or as a migrant worker, until we reach the country of destination and come back again to the country of origin. Why? For many reasons. Maybe we are successful, maybe we are not. Maybe we are black and blue when we come back again to our country of origin. Or maybe we can no longer migrate again because we lose our kidney or become sick or whatsoever because of unsafe or unprotected situation in the country of destination. We talk about fair recruitment. Yes, we talk about fair recruitment. The recruitment fees, we talk about transparency and contracts. How about the subcontracts? There's a lot of violation about that. Businesses doesn't recognize this. Yes, of course, businesses, sometimes we aim good things for the migrant workers. But how about the process itself? How about the process itself? There are a lot of factors there that makes the life of migrant workers or workers, in vain. And talking to them, listening to them, you will identify a lot of things. You will identify even, the the heaviest problem for us may be a simple, like a click, a signature only for you. And it can save life and it can save the situation of migrant workers. We talk about safe and dignified working condition. We talk about gaps yesterday. But what are we going to do with the gaps? We identified gaps for a long time ago. I think last year we talked about gaps already. But what we are going to do with the gaps? We need to work together. We are here. Migrant workers are here. We are already showing to you that we are willing to work with you. And to have that long-term solution, we really need to work together. We talk about, but I don't want to forget that migrant workers doesn't want to be just beneficiaries. We want to be part of the process. We want to be part of the solution, the system itself. Mahendra mentioned yesterday that let's forget about, or let's stop thinking that migrant workers are uneducated, unskilled, or a lot of things, negative things. Let's help us change the narrative. We have wisdom. We have the life experiences. And we know the solution to the problem. We talk about supports for support services for migrant workers. We forgot to talk about how about the migrant domestic workers or women migrant workers. They have different needs. In the Middle East, most of the migrant workers cannot have their own family. Imagine, cannot have their own family, cannot have their own husband or children. Why? Because it's not allowed for them to have that even, very basic human rights. We talk about changes. Yesterday, we talk about countries and regions, but are we going to change policies and system because we are residing or we are having business into different region with different kind of context? Like for example, American, EU, US, German, franchise businesses. When they go to Middle East, which is very known when it comes to violations, are they going to change the policy that they have, the system that they have? I don't know. That's a question, actually. That's a question. How about countries of destination? Are we thinking of the readiness of the country of destination, their laws? Are we just going to have business there without thinking if that company or that country is ready to accept migrant workers? Because migrant workers are human. We are not machines. We are human. And in order for us to, yes, thank you. Okay, our respected and dignified workers, it's not about decoration or just a nice to have. They are strategies as well. They are assets as well. It learns to make a stronger and smarter and sustainable business, and for us, dignified life. That is the only thing that we have, dignified life. So thank you very much. Let's level up the conversation by including and centering migrant workers into the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I've got to follow that. Thank you, Anne. I first met Anne a little tiny backstreet office in Kuwait City, and she goes out and does a full day's work, and then in the evenings goes and works for an organisation that helps other migrants in distress in Kuwait, particularly very often women who are in situations of very serious distress. It's just remarkable the work that some people do. But I'm here now just to talk about the Responsible Recruitment Register, just to give you an update on where we are. We launched the register a few years ago at the Global Forum, and then this year we've actually launched a third register. So there are now actually 3 responsible recruitment registers. You can find this very simply, just have a look for Responsible Recruitment Register in your search bar. But we've now got a companies register. So this lists all of the companies that have a policy, a public policy that prohibits the charging of recruitment fees to workers. We have got, there's 400 companies now, or just over 400 companies who now have such a policy around the world. It's becoming almost the exception if you don't have that policy now. Now, we all know that a policy is just a policy, and we all know that we need to see a lot more implementation of those policies, and that requires companies to put in place procedures and processes. And a procedure is really a policy with its sleeves rolled up. And that's what needs to happen. Companies need to roll up their sleeves and start doing the work that they say their policy is promoting. We've also got an associations register. This lists all of the trade associations and certification bodies that also have policies or codes of conduct that align with the employer pays principle, with no workers should be charged for a job. The cost of a recruitment should be borne not by the worker, but by the employer. So it's, does your certification include that provision as well? But then the one that we launched just this year, still developing it, but it's the recruitment agencies register. And in some ways, this is the one that people have been waiting for. So this lists some of the recruitment agencies who've undertaken various degrees. This is a tiered register, this one. So some have undertaken full IOM IRS certification, also certifications by Clearview and on the level to other certification bodies, but also those who've done various forms of capacity building, usually with the IOM, but sometimes with other bodies as well. There's not that many companies, not that many agencies on the recruitment agency register at the moment, but you can see what we're trying to do is build a complete ecosystem where you've got a company that says they want to undertake responsible recruitment and want their workforce to be recruited without paying recruitment fees. And we've got the agencies who said that if the employer is willing to pay, then we're willing to service that need. We keep being told that the two can't seem to find each other, but the Responsible Recruitment Register is a way of trying to open that up to help build this market and to build this new market for responsible recruitment globally. So please do go and have a look at the register. There's look to see if the companies that you know are on there. Look at the associations register. Are some of the certifications that you might be putting your faith and trust in, are they listed? Do they actually include responsible recruitment in their codes of conduct and certification criteria? And particularly have a look at the recruitment agencies register. We've got some of the recruiters who are featured on the register here. And we're going to be listening to Mr. Puri from Titanic Recruitment Agency later today. It's a start. It's not perfect. We know that we need to be doing more work around this, but it's our way of accepting that. And if we keep waiting until everything is perfect, then we don't move. The best gets in the way of the good. So this is our IHRB's way of trying to move things forward. And we're very interested to hear from any companies or recruitment agencies who would be interested in getting onto the register. Right, so I think that's it. Thank you very much for that. We now need to move on to our next session.